All right, so I want to, last episode, I built this page, and then I was going to copy this code right here. And so I selected it and then did Command C, right? I don't want to do that. The purpose of this page is to copy and paste, right? So it should make the copy part easy. So I need to just add a button. You've seen that, over on the right. This is a little wide right now, but over on the top right, we're going to add a little copy button. That's all we're going to do in this video. So I'm first going to go to my code. So this right here is just kind of the whole page. This is the layout. We've got the main part. So let's go over to the main part. Here's my code example. So you can see here, we've got our click to load. That's what this example is, hx get. And then here's our little code snippet. So I could, start doing some inline stuff, which that's generally my go-to, is to put stuff right in line. Locality of behavior is nice. In this case though, we want to have thousands of thousands is too much. We want to have at least hundreds of these little code snippets all over the page. So maybe I'll start by just making a loop here so we can see that. Didn't have it. But something to notice, when you refresh this page, I've got 500 working examples. It loads immediately. This is part of the whole reason I'm building this site, because this is going to be cool when there's all these working examples, and they all load immediately and work correctly. You can see they all work correctly already. Okay, but we're talking copy button today. So because I could add it right directly to each one, but there's really no need for that, because they're all going to be they're all going to be code. These are certain way of formatting. Everything's the same. So this is a case where it's very helpful to be able to, add something ahead of time, or, add it globally. So I'm going to open a new script tag here. So we're using JavaScript. There's different ways we could do this. I'm just going to use vanilla JavaScript for this. So let's add an event listener. The one for this is DOM content loaded. So there's different ways you can do this. I think it's good. In this case, I think DOM content loaded. That's fine. I don't see any issue with doing that. The only issue will be if it's slow. We don't want it to slow anything down. So, but this is kind of my first, thought on this, is just to kind of add it here. So this is the format for adding an event listener. First, let's just verify that we're even on the right planet here. So this should just alert after the DOM is loaded. Okay, and so remember, we have this site refreshing every 5 seconds. So I may turn that off in a minute, but for now it's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn it off right now because it's happening in the background. Before I had it on left and right parts of the screen. No longer have that. I'll just refresh it manually every time. Okay, but we have that alert, and we can see that it's getting here. So that's good. So let's get our code blocks. So our code blocks are everything that, and let's look at the main again. It's everything pre, and then directly after it is the code. So that's the code blocks that we're dealing with. So we need to set up a document dot querySelector. Okay, and it's code arrow, this little greater than symbol. Oh wait, I did this backwards. We do the outer one first. Is that right? Yeah, pre and then code. Oops. Where is that? Pre and then code. So every pre and code, we want to get those code blocks. Okay. So what do we want to do with those code blocks? So let's set up a loop. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to we'll give each one a little code variable here. We want to create a button up in the top right. Maybe that says copy. Maybe it is one of those little copy icons. We don't know yet. For now, let's just use the word copy because I don't know if we have one of those icons handy. So we'll call our button. Well, let's first make the button. Document dot create element. And this will just be a div. It could be a button. Should it be a button? Now, buttons come with a bunch of formatting, so maybe semantically it's better if it's actually a button, but that's okay for now. I'm okay with making it a div. So let's give it a class. So I think we can just say class name. Let's call it copy button. Okay. Let's see what so right now it's just an empty div. So maybe I should make this a button for now, just so we can actually see it. Okay, so we're giving it the copy button. Actually, let's make it a div. And we'll just put some text inside it. So far we're writing a lot of code without sort of testing whether it works yet, but I think it's pretty straightforward so far. Okay, so it's going to have the word copy. And what do we want to do here with this? I guess we need to add it to the right place. So we have our code, we have our button, so we can say like code dot, gosh, how do we do this? This is like, I'm going to look this up. Okay, so add element JavaScript. Append child. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So we'll say code. Need to copy that. That's easy enough to remember. Append child button. So where is this going to put this? I don't know yet. Let's find out. We'll go here. CP. We're gonna. Where is our button? It's a div, but it says copy, and I do not see it here. Okay. So let's cut this our loop down. I don't want it to like alert a bunch of things, so we're just gonna say I is less than 1, and we'll refresh. So we're back to 1, and now let's have it alert in here so we can see, make sure it's going through. First of all, does it find those code block? And no. Okay, so we have our first problem here. Query document query selector free code. That seems pretty straightforward to me. So maybe there's something wrong with my for each. I don't think so though. You know what? I wonder if this is, that feels a little silly to me, but that's not. Okay. So let's alert that we're getting in here. Yes, we are getting in there. Let's alert the code blocks dot length. Undefined. Okay, so it's not. So why is it not getting any of these pre-arrow code blocks? Let's see. querySelector. That's the problem with doing some stuff from memory here. querySelector, JavaScript. Well, first of all, it returns the first element. So I should be doing querySelectorAll. I feel like it should still be getting one, but maybe because it's not all, it's not possible to loop on. I'm not even checking for errors yet. I should have opened my... here we go. Okay, that was it. So it needs to be querySelectorAll because it needs to return an array and stuff like that. Okay, so we're inside here. We should now get a button, actually. Oh, there it is. There's our copy. It doesn't do anything right now, but it's there. And it's not a button, it's a div. Okay, so we're appending this. Now we can style this copy button. Because we gave it a class, we can style it. So let's do that up here. Come on, let's not add stuff for me, please. Okay, so dot copy button. So what do we want? We want it to be at the top right. So let's make it absolute. So position. We could also float it, but I think position absolute is to work with. Top 0. Right 0. Okay, so we're putting the copy directly into the code, which actually I think we don't want to do. We're putting it into the code block. We want the code block to be just the stuff that we're going to copy out of it. So this is not right. What we want to do is to put it so that it it's within. So let's wrap this whole thing. So class equals code block. Because everything inside this pre should be, not a bunch of extra divs. We want it to be able to copy all the stuff within code. And we could put it inside the pre, but let's just wrap the whole thing in a code block. I think that makes sense kind of logistically too, like to have a class called code block that sort of wraps up the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to wrap it in a code block, and let's make that relative so that when we do absolute. So we can do that with Tailwind here if we want. So now our copy button is going to go inside, not the code block, not this, but inside the code wrapper. So let's add another. So code wrapper, oops. Equals, so how do we get the closest? So now we need code dot closest. Code block. Work already. Okay, so now we're going to do code wrapper append child button. Okay, how's that look? So now we already have styled our button to be at the top right. So we should see copy up at the top. We do see copy. It's in black though, so it's kind of hard to see. But that's good. That is a step in the right direction. So let's add just color, and we'll just like make it kind of a grayish. Let's give it a little bit of space. A little bit of space, and we'll give it a color of, I don't know, DDD. How's that look? Refresh. Okay, that's the right idea. We can mess with it as we need to. Let's make it clear that this is something that we can click, cursor pointer, and now we need to actually make it work, right? So we need to say the button dot add event listener, click, and then we'll make this a function. Just the standard event. So each one is going to get an event listener for a click. This is interesting. So if we have 1,000 of these, we're adding 1,000 event listeners. Is that faster than adding a single event listener that listens, just to any that are clicked? I don't know yet. My sense is this might be too many event listeners, and it might kind of take a little bit of time to do this. But let's try it, and we can compare it afterwards. Okay, so what we want to do when you click it is we want to get the code. So this is, back here we have our code block we're looping through, and we need to get everything in there, the inner text. And let's just alert that for now. Let's make sure let's sanity check time. So what have we done? We've added the button to the code wrapper. Now we've added the event listener. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to refresh. Now when I click this, it should alert everything that's in here. Boom, and it does. Actually looks pretty good. Okay, so how do we copy that to the clipboard? This is the kind of thing that you got to look up sometimes. So JavaScript copy to, I know there's an API for it. So we'll just find the first one that we have. Select the text field. This is an input. That's a little different. Let's see. Previously, you would have handled this. Navigator.clipboard. What's all this async stuff? I don't like this. I think I'm just going to try doing this. Okay. Does that work? Let's give it a shot. Navigator.clipboard.write. Save. Okay. So let's refresh and copy. Oh, we got an error in our console here. Cannot read properties of undefined. So navigator.clipboard undefined. So what does this say about this? Clipboard API is only supported for pages served over HTTPS, which well, I mean, my local version of this is not HTTPS, we can sort of see that up here. But it's not secure. So maybe there's another way to do this. I remember that not fully. Okay, so yeah, I know that we have a way to do this without using the Navigator clipboard. So let's see if we can do this in another way. I think what it was, so what was that first one we had here? No, back here. First one we had here copied it from, so copy text to clipboard. First one we had here, this is again using the Navigator, did not use that. So what did it do? Select the text field. Copy the, no, this is also using it. This is also using it. Okay, so why is it not working? Is it just because of my local thing is not HTTPS? So how do I get around that? Copy clipboard HTTPS. It's only available. That's a little strange. As you correctly stated, this is due to not using these options. Since you asked for a workaround, here's a hacky working sample. I'm listening. Okay, text area. Text. Okay, what are they doing here? Unsecured copy to clipboard. They are taking a text area. So they're creating a text area. They're adding the text area to the document. They're focusing it. They're selecting it. Document.exec command copy because it's selected. So it's almost like it's like hacking what you would do, where you are focusing on an input and selecting it. Okay, so look at this, and then they provide a nice option here to just do it like this. So secure or unsecure. That's kind of nice, right? Let's do it. If Navigator.clipboard, delete the comments. Otherwise, fall back to unsecured copy to clipboard. Let's see if this works. So this all makes sense, right? We're creating a text area element and then destroying it. We're creating it, selecting it, copying it, and then destroying it. So we can just add this function to it. I don't feel bad about doing this in any way at all. We have our text document, so it removes the child after, gives an error if there's something wrong. Okay, so if it works, if this is in place, this is what I was going to do anyway. If it's there, then it should write the text. Let's just see if this works as is. Thank you to, oh yeah, here's something I always do. Copy this URL that I got this from and put it right there. That will help you in the future. It helps me, I mean, so. Okay, refresh. So, no errors, that's good. Let's have them like click copy. We do get an error. Copy text is not defined. So where's that come from? Right. When you copy and paste stuff, sometimes you actually need to edit it slightly. Refresh. Copy. Okay, no errors. Now let's see if we actually have a, how do I test this? Okay, so let's go to google.com and I'll just paste it in and look at this. This is exactly what we want. So that's good. That is working. So let's see here. So what have we done? I'll just recap. Okay, no, we're not done yet, actually. Because what do we want here? You can't tell that it's working, right? We want like a little check mark or something. Or the wording to change or something like that. So what do? Let's change. So after we click, either way, we want to take our button. So button dot inner text. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Equals copied. So that'll be our change for now. Okay. Okay, nice. So we have, it's changed to copied. And it does that on success. I guess it would error out over here. So it would console error. So it says copied no matter whether it worked, but that's okay. I'm okay with that for now. I don't see any reason why it necessarily wouldn't work. Okay, so we have it copied, but now it kind of just stays as copied, which like if you then copy something else, it's going to say copied. So it'll be hard to tell. And I don't know, if you click it again, is it copying again? Probably. Yeah, because it's a copy button. But I think that the way these are kind of best is if a little bit of time passes and then it goes back to copy. So that's actually super easy to do. Let's do a set timeout. Set timeout function. Oh yeah, and so the function usually has like a comma and then how long we want it to go. So we are just going to set the thing back to copy. Okay. Refresh. Copy. Copied. Now after 2 seconds, goes back to copy. Okay, so I thought I was done with this video, but I kind of like, it's just still bothering me thinking about this. The way it works right now is we add an event listener to every single button. And I'm not crazy about that. The reason is we might, my hope is to have hundreds or thousands of these. So adding an event listener to each, it feels a little bit like overkill. And bigger than that, if we load stuff dynamically, it's not going to have these event listeners on it because it's added to each individual thing. So I think a better thing, I want to do a quick refactor here. So I'd rather add an event listener to the document overall. So let's have it do on each click. Add event listener, click. And now we're going to add a function. So the goal here is to not have 1,000 event listeners. We just want to add one. When you click, it's going to figure out if it is a button. Okay, so we are going to check the page on any click. So we'll check there's an event. So now we want to say if the event target, well, no, just if there's an event target, first of all, and if the, how do we say has class? Class list contains. So if the event target class list contains copy button, in that case, that's where we want to run all this code here. Okay. Okay, so instead of code, we now need to, we need to get code. So code equals, so we're clicking the copy button. That is actually outside of our div here for the code. So how do we get that? We need to go to event, target, parent. So this is what we're clicking. Our event is our button. And what do we do? Find? Can we do find in JavaScript? Let's see. Closest. Let's see if this actually like works now. Comment out. We'll keep that console.log in there for now, in case we need to log anything else. Copy. Okay, it's console logging. It didn't switch. Oh, no, it did switch to copied. Okay, now we do a new tab here. We paste. And we have it. It is functioning again. Okay, so why is this better? We are now checking every click. Now, clicks are not that often, and immediately we just check if it contains copy button. So this is going to work. We'll have to still initialize it when something new is loaded onto the page, but that's fine. So we'll make this a function, actually. So let's call it function init copy code blocks. Okay. And we'll just call that function. Right now we're still inside our, actually I guess we're not inside our add event listener here for DOM content loaded. So we'll just init the copy code blocks. So later when we're pulling stuff from htmx, each time something comes in from htmx, we'll just init this again. And all it does is just add an event listener to this, to the click that says, you know, if this has this, then, you know, if it contains copy button, then we can do it. So we'll probably need to add something to this so that it doesn't call it more than once. So let's see. So we're just going to remove it first. So we'll call like document.remove event listener. Same sort of format, but then we'll give this function a name. So copy click handler. And then we'll replace this. Copy click handler. Function. Copy click handler. Okay. So we pass the event to that. So whenever this is called, it should remove it first and then add it to everything, which is fine. That's what we want to do. So let me save. Copy. Alerts one time. Okay, good. I may want to refactor this a little bit so that it doesn't do it for the whole document when you load some stuff. We can like pass in what to initialize, but I'm okay with it doing it on everything for now. Let's just like do a quick test and bring back, let's do 1,000. And then let's see if we can notice any slowdown here. No. So I'm scrolling, I'm copying, refreshing. It's fast. I've got 1,000 things going and it's fast. So that's good. So this is the refactor of it, so that we now have our copy button. It copies. Oh, let me get rid of this little alert before I save this and commit it. We'll do our alert, remove that, save. Refresh. We have 1,000 here again. I'm going to get rid of that. We'll go back to 1. I'm going to keep that code in there so that we can bring it up to lots anytime we want. Copy works. If we go to a new page here, paste it, it has the correct stuff in there. Our example still works. Click to get the time. So that's it. We just added the little copy button, but it's going to work for every single one of our code blocks now. And it doesn't matter how many are on the page, it will be quick.